The T5-Digital ID is a T5 flexible solution for onboarding both a citizen's biographical and biometric data and a citizen's identity verification. After following the link to download the T5-Digital Id Onboarding App using any smart device such as a phone or tablet, the applicant begins enrollment by entering the necessary data to obtain a digital ID according to a customer's business rules. After entering the data, the applicant is prompted to take a selfie. The app guides the applicant through the process to ensure that the conditions are optimized for portrait capture. Automated quality assessment takes place before the portrait is enrolled. Once the portrait is captured, and depending on the end user application, liveness detection can be added in and implemented at this stage if required. The user is then guided to capture the fingers of either the left hand, the right hand, or both hands. In general, 4 fingers of one hand is sufficient to verify a person. The liveness of fingers can also be added to meet end user requirements. Once all data and biometrics are captured, they are sent to the back-end system for completion of background checks according to the business rules. These can include checking against existing biometric data or biographical data, as well as adding new data from the enrollment to the record. In addition, the system has deduplication capability to ensure that the citizen being enrolled does not exist more than once in the database. Following confirmation of the data, a credential is created and provisioned back to the ID holder's device in the form of a digital ID. The credential appears on the authorized holder's device as a T5 cryptograph, which contains biographical and biometric data along with additional text data from the enrollment. The data available and visible are not limited to the enrollment data generated according to the customer's project, but can also include information from the database establishing authentication and used to generate the T5 cryptograph. For example, a driver's digital ID may contain vehicle registration information. A health ID may contain medical data including blood group and other details, and a banking ID may contain account details. Once credential creation is completed, the T5-Digital ID can be used to perform biometric verification with the aid of any mobile device. Any authorized verifying individual, such as a police officer, a bank agent, or clinic staff, can verify the credential using the T5-Digital ID verification app. The verification app has 2 main functions. The first is to decode and verify the credential using the digital key provided by the issuer. The second is to compare the credential against the holder biometrically. In this demo, we are showing phone-to-phone verification. However, it is equally possible to print the credential on a physical document, including a blank piece of paper, an identity card, or many other official documents, including a vaccination certificate. Once the credential has been verified as genuine using the digital keys on the verifying device, it can be matched to the holder biometrically. The T5 cryptograph can be read by simply holding it in front of the camera of the verifying device, in this case a phone, but the device can also be a tablet or any dedicated reading device. Once read, a compressed portrait of the ID holder is shown on the verifying agent's screen. This feature allows for the visual inspection of the ID holder in a manner of any verifying authority who verifies a citizen's identity from a physical ID or a passport. However, the simple visual inspection of a photo is not always foolproof. The added benefit of the T5-Digital ID lies in its greater security with respect to authentication. It offers the added advantage of biometric options, in this case, face and fingerprint modalities. However, other biometrics such as voice or iris can also be included if the final use case requires it. Successful biometric authentication is confirmed on screen. The number and richness of identity details can be displayed according to a customer's business rules. Some projects may require that self-enrollment be replaced or complemented with the addition of attended enrollment. This can be particularly important in cases where an applicant may not have a smartphone. In such cases, the identity credential can be printed. Just like the identity credential provisioned to a phone, a printed version of the credential can be biometrically verified against the holder. In addition to manual text input, the T5-Digital ID also supports other enrollment features. In this instance, the applicant is enrolling data from the driver's license. This process can incorporate several elements, such as extraction of textual data from the document, comparison of a facial image from the document to the holder's face, or the image stored on a database, as well as the extraction of additional data from a chip present on the document. Additional security and authenticity checks of a document used for enrollment can also be incorporated on the back-end system, including the addition of biometric data to the record. After the back-end check, the credential can be used in the same manner. The amount of data stored on the T5 cryptograph, as well as the type and amount of visible text available on the credential, are determined and configurable by the customer. Once the credential is created from the document, the authentication proceeds as previously described. The T5-Digital ID solution has a variety of benefits, including completely offline identity verification, completely private verification at all times, since the biometric data never needs to leave a holder's phone, easy issuance and distribution of the credential that can be used in an electronic or printed format, the ability to leverage existing infrastructure, providing a solution that is contactless and frictionless, as well as cost effectiveness and scalability. And finally, it is mobile, so that you can confidently and securely verify your identity whenever you need to and wherever you go.